What's up, guys? So, I have a story to share. The last video I did on gay dating in Athens, Greece, and my experience here, I recorded that the beginning of my last full day here in Athens, and then today's my official last day. I'm about to go catch my flight. And I want to tell you about the rest of that day after I recorded that video. So in that video, I mentioned that I went on these 2 dates with 2 great guys separately, obviously. 2 dates separately. 2 different guys, very nice, smart, whatever. And then things evolved that day, and that's what I want to talk about. So, and I'm still like wrapping my brain around it. So one of the 2 guys, I found out the night that I met him, that we went on a date. He had been married to a woman for years and years and years and years, I think like a decade or something, and is recently divorced. And I was like, oh, I kind of want to date men too. So that made me a little uneasy at first because I thought, I ended up being his first date with a guy. I'm happy to be somebody's first date as a guy because I know that I'm going to leave a good impression, and I would want them to have a good first impression if they're still trying to figure out their sexuality. But it's a lot of pressure too, right? Because somebody who's never experienced that is probably yearning for something, and people who yearn typically are a bit more intense. And I ended up being right, and he was intense, and he kept asking to hang out again. And I thought, well, he's been very nice, and I'm here by myself. I don't have a million other things left to do in the city. You know, I was here for a whole week. I thought, okay, sure, my last day I'll spend time with him. Then there's the other guy who I had a great connection with, and we said we would probably hang out again my last night here. That guy, when I went on a date with him, had asked me, I guess kind of like flippantly, like jokingly, have you had any hookups since you've been in Athens? And I had said, no, actually I haven't, but I did have one other Tinder date with this guy who is recently, divorced and dating guys now, and I'm concerned that he now is feeling something I'm not because he keeps wanting to hang out. So that was a harbinger moment. So keep that in mind. I ended up meeting up with the guy who was recently divorced, and he said he wanted to drive me around a different part of Athens. So we're in his car, and 15 minutes in, he's like, I have to tell you the truth, I'm falling in love with you. And obviously when somebody tells you they're falling in love with you, it's typically not a negative thing, but in this situation, I'm in an international city. I don't plan on coming back here anytime soon, if ever. And he's telling me this in his car, so I'm confined. I can't do anything. I can't go. I can't leave. And I felt so uncomfortable and so trapped. And he wasn't like, weird or controlling or anything like that. He was this nice, really nice, humble man. But I felt so uncomfortable. And I guess if I felt the same thing, maybe I wouldn't feel as uncomfortable, but I just didn't. Like, the chemistry just wasn't there. And I thought it was weird that, it's my 3rd time meeting him. There has been almost no intimacy, and he's, falling in love with me. And me, being how I am, I quickly was like, no, you're not. You're not. This is an excitement thing for you because you're new to it. There's a novelty factor. It's kind of like being a teenager. You're kind of feeling what teenagers feel. So I keep kind of word vomiting all this because I'm kind of panicking on the inside. And the next few hours were some of the most awkward of my life. The whole time I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. But I couldn't bring myself to be like, I want you to drive me home. Because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I didn't want to totally make it even more uncomfortable for both of us. I thought, let me diffuse it. We'll go get dinner, walk around. I'll go home. It's done. And I felt so uncomfortable. And about 20 minutes after that happened, the other guy texted me. He's like, hey, how are you doing? And I remember that I had told him about this guy. So again, word vomiting. I said, oh, I'm actually with the other Tinder guy, and I feel so uncomfortable because he just told me he's falling in love with me. I don't know, what do I do? I feel so weird. And looking back, I shouldn't have said that, right? I would not like if somebody that I had a nice connection with, even if it's traveling and you think you might never see them again, it's just not a nice feeling to know you have competition, I guess. But in my mind, I guess in that moment, since I'd already mentioned this guy, I didn't think it was controversial. And again, it's not like I'm going to marry either of these guys. I mean, it's incredibly unlikely that I'll be able to maintain a connection while I'm in the States and they're in Greece. So I guess I just didn't overthink it, and I just said it, and the guy got so turned off. So I'm in the car trapped with the guy who freaked me out. And then now this guy's blowing my phone up, and he's like, I don't get why you would tell me this. That is disgusting. It's thoughtless that you would share this with me. I don't need to hear about your escapades, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, escapades? Like, I'm just in the car with him. I'm not telling you, I'm not giving you, there are no graphic details here. And so now I'm even more upset because I'm trapped in an environment that I don't feel good in. And now I have this other guy in my head, but I need to make conversation with the other guy just to like keep things flowing so I don't, you know, make it even more uncomfortable. Guys, it was a terrible end of my stay in Athens. And I came home, finally like, okay, I can like breathe. And I was like, I'm gonna make it up to this guy. I called him, I apologized, I tried to explain myself, and he just wasn't having it. He was like, I'm done, like, turned off, bye. And it's so weird because in my last video I said that the men kind of made this trip. And I feel like now the men have ruined this trip because I ended up spending the night by myself. I had no desire to go out. It was a Friday night, but I was like, I don't want to meet people. I just felt so moody. And I just went to bed, and that was it. And now I'm off. And, you know, at least it was my last day. So now I can just kind of like change gears. I'm changing cities. I guess in my mind, I'm like, did I really do something that horrible? Or were these just two really intense guys? And maybe this goes back, ironically, to what I said in my previous video, which is, I think here things are more black and white with people, with dating and romance and hookups because of the culture. And maybe both of them, because they met me how they met me, and because I am how I am, they instantly went into romantic worlds and didn't realize that I wasn't, although I'm a total romantic, I'm also very practical. And I wasn't in the moment thinking like, this is going to turn into a relationship. And I guess both of them maybe wanted that. So that's my story. Always curious to hear what you guys have to say. Hopefully you don't rip me to shreds in this situation. See you next time.